Dennis, welcome back. Let's talk about the Chinese economy and how much distress it is in right now. It looks like it is in deflation, which is never really a good sign at all.
I'm not sure it's quite there yet, Tyler, but last year, 2022, the Chinese economy grew, if you believe the statistics, at about 3%. This year, the economy is growing really even less than that. And in fact, in Q2, which we've just finished, the GDP grew 0.8%. And I really wonder if that's even a real statistic.
Let's talk a little bit about this potential executive order. What would it do, and how would it likely affect American businesses that want to do business in China, but certainly don't want to do anything to damage American national security interests?
We have a law called CFIUS, Committee for Foreign Investment in the U.S. For years, Tyler, what it did is it prevented inbound investment that we thought would hurt the U.S. Now, Biden has expanded the CFIUS to make sure if you're outbound, if you're an investor or if you're a company, that it's going to be much more difficult for you to do that. The question is why? I think the close line between what is militarily application and what is not is what's driving this. I think there are three areas that the Biden administration will look at. Semiconductors, which, as you know, they've already done. Secondly, quantum computing. But then the hot topic today is AI.
Is AI. And so this would be an extension, or has it already been put in place, about that kind of outbound investment? Because CFIUS, when I think of it, is can a foreign company come in and buy a port operation in the United States or something like that? Is it already in place, this outbound restriction that's for CFIUS?
Great question. In short, as far as semiconductors go, the Biden administration a year ago started to put this outbound in effect. Mm-hmm. What's happening now, Tyler, is that I think the Biden administration is going to essentially make CFIUS not just inbound, but outbound. And that's a real change.
Is the Biden administration tougher on China than the Trump administration?
Honestly, I see very little difference between the Trump administration and the Biden administration in dealing with China. In a certain respect, I think Biden might be slightly tougher, but you remember the tariffs that Trump put on in 2018? Right. They're still there, and I don't think the Biden administration is going to remove them.
Lastly, Dennis, I was just wondering, this will mostly, it sounds like, affect private equity and venture capital firms. Have they been actively trying to push back against this? Are there, or are they just going to look elsewhere? And how much of the capital for developing artificial intelligence and the rest of it in China are they really providing? It has to be a single-digit percentage.
It's not a major amount that I can see coming from the U.S. into China. But the Chinese have something called their cyberspace administration, and it's now cutting down on AI within China. In other words, something like ChatGPT, they're making it more difficult in China to have that there. But in the long run, do I think that American companies are going to want to continue to invest there? I think the answer is yes. Do I think it's going to be much more difficult? It's going to be much, much more difficult.